is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Friday pre-weekend edition of the Lunchbox, coming to you from our Happy Friday place, and that would be 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park in beautiful Hallandale Beach, Florida. I'm about to get us loaded up on the old Let's Eat South Florida group, and where we've got over 117,000 rabid fans who are just anxious to see what we're eating and betting today. Jeff Defo DeForest,
Sure
what do you got for us? You said I missed a winner already? I was a little late today. A little late to the
You're
party.
a little late to the party, no doubt about it. There are two big questions plaguing America right now. Number one is, does Ice-T really insure those Bentleys and Rolls Royces in his garage with car shield? I'm not sure that they're taking down that kind of clientele. And number two would be, how is 215 even a possible number to throw out there
Well,
for the weight of Donald Trump?
now you've hit on a food-related issue.
Yeah.
To your first
If
point,
that guy's 215, I'm 150.
I don't know about Ice-T, but do you think Steph Curry and all those guys are really eating Subway subs? That's the other question.
Serena, I saw her in there the other day. I was getting one of those
Serena
carp
May.
sandwiches, the tuna.
I don't see
And
Steph.
I thought
I mean,
I saw
honestly,
Serena
didn't
Williams.
they
in
blow
there.
that within the commercials? Didn't when they had Tom Brady, Steph was like, "You don't eat this crap."
Right. He doesn't even touch any kind
Right.
of carbs. And
Yeah.
what is he getting? The just the lettuce wrap? There's no such thing as a lettuce wrap.
I do
in
have
Subway.
the iced tea point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the carbs, but have you ever seen his wife? Because she definitely has some fix-a-flat in her body somewhere.
There you go. Hey, and with that, we welcome back to the
professor.
show
Wow.
the professor, Ken Jacobson. You also know him as, the Friday professor of the renowned, what do we call that? That's
The big board.
The big
Big
board.
board,
yeah.
top five.
I just know it as since Letterman is gone, instead of a top 10 list every week on Fridays on the Defo show in the mornings on South Florida Live. From 7 to just 8:45 now, and I noticed that you guys have iced me out of the show, which is fine. I talk enough on the lunchbox. I repulse you guys enough.
The
with
stage is
my
all yours.
Finger food, so I'm okay with
That was deemed gross yesterday, by the way, by most people. The consensus was overwhelming that you taking
Not-
your hand
not-
and dipping it into the drawn butter
not
bowl.
from the people
That was
that
a
I
community
talked
bowl.
to. Okay.
That was the problem. I
okay.
don't care. You want to eat your lobster with your fingers, that's fine.
I'll
But
listen to
don't-
Mayo. Let me
Don't
ask
use
you.
a community butter
Like,
bowl.
one
to
thing
stick
at a time. We have
your
so
hand
many
in.
topics. Let's
Okay.
get back to 215, the number of the day.
But let's
And-
not skip over this, Mayo. Come
No,
on. I
no,
mean, this was grotesque.
Let's see. Okay, here's how we're going to
Again,
do it,
And you
Defo.
justify
We're
it
going
like
to
a
come up
Republican.
with a list.
Why don't you just get
Have
on the
you ever
debate
heard
stage
lobster?
We're
with
going to come up
Ramaswamy?
with okay. Here's my show agenda. 215 is number one. Mayo finger food lobster is going to be number two. I want to get to this supposed weigh-in, which wasn't a weigh-in.
They didn't weigh in.
Okay. The guy who used to be president, who's now making a professional living of just going around getting indicted around the country. And why do disgraced ex-presidents get a caravan of limitless security
Still
and limos?
protected by the Secret Service. For
Yeah,
life.
but
yeah.
does he have to be that protected?
Well, it looked like he was. I don't think.
You're
you
trying
know,
to get him shivved, is what you're going
when
after?
Charles became king, they didn't have this many vehicles. It was amazing.
Let's just put it this way: if Trump lived in, let's say, Russia, I would be double checking the Trump airplane before I took off. But
Why?
That's some plane when you think about it.
He doesn't poison the people he
oh right,
likes.
that's true. Putin,
It's only his,
They're
only his,
buddies.
Putin and Trump have an alliance.
it's
But I
only,
meant
it's
it was-
only his enemies that get poisoned, which teaches valuable lesson.
No doubt when you were hobnobbing
Listen,
with
squirrel.
all of these celebrities that you were covering, you flew private at some point in time.
never.
Did you see? I mean, in the private section of the airport there, I mean, literally, it's kind of like DiCaprio's yacht makes Bezos look like a dinghy. Where he's the only guy with like a full-blown 757. All these people have very expensive private Gulfstream jets and everything. They look like toys compared to Trump's plane. It's amazing.
How
many people does he have on that
he's
flight?
trying to compensate for
Oh,
anything?
geez.
But
Yeah.
that's I'll leave that to the armchair psychologist
That
and
could be,
Ken
yeah.
to discuss. But let's get back to the number 215, which again, when you go get processed apparently in the Fulton County jail court system, you get to I didn't realize that you
I've
get
never
to
heard
fill
of a
out your
weigh-in,
own
though.
form.
Yeah, I've never heard of a
And you
weigh-in,
get to
though.
put in your
Yeah.
own color of hair, and you get to put in your own weight. There is no scale there. You just put it in, and I guess sometimes they do it off your driver's license or your official ID.
Which
So-
is usually a lie also.
So
Yeah, I was
maybe
gonna say.
Trump's license is from,
It's like, when was the last
1990.
time you were 190? That would be the question the
Right.
officer asked you.
For
Yeah.
me, it would be when it was before my wedding in the December of 2002.
I
I was
actually
still
go the opposite way. Before I go get my driver's license, I just go get hammered drunk, and that way when I get pulled over, they're like, "Oh, your face really does look
Look
like
like
that." sir."
McNulty, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not that we are condoning any kind
No,
of
drinking and
and driving. Mothers Against Drunk Driving, fine organization. But no, we try to play it way too straight.
You don't need
here.
too many qualifiers there, man. Just
it's
go
the
ahead with the
lunchbox.
theory.
People
Yeah,
know
come on.
that we're
Yeah.
just joking.
Yes.
We're just joking as we wait for our first round of cocktails
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
delivered on a Friday afternoon.
All right,
At
so get
10
back to your number.
Palms.
You're
Wait.
so distracted.
10 Palms, Gulfstream Park. We love it here.
Yes.
Sunday brunch contest
There
will
you
be
go.
coming up. But 215. Okay. Look, I'm an honest fat person. I think, Ken, you were talking this morning about,
Freely
Look,
admit, I have fought the battle of the balls.
we have been going back and forth. I've yo-yoed my whole life. I prefer when my number starts with 1 instead of 2. But let's face it, it's been solidly 2 for a long time and actually drifting more at some points closer towards 3 than 1. But I am, the last time I weighed myself, and I've been avoiding the scale,
Yeah.
I was a solid 240. So, I'm not ashamed, and I'm
Probably a
5,
good idea you were avoiding the scale.
7.5,
The way you've been
5'8".
eating.
5'8", let's say, on my tippy toes, 240. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
It is what it
It
is.
is what it is. It's a
and-
number.
But for that person to claim that he's 215, I say that the Fulton County DA should have added another count to the indictment, perjury, right
No
off the
doubt
bat.
about it.
Lied
yeah.
about his weight.
I like it.
It makes us all.
Well, what's
sound
to it? 2
I
is
could
like
go
6 feet, 215.
I could go around telling people I'm 198 pounds now, which is like I get below 2 for the first time since like 8th grade. So I think it's a good standard, actually.
And this is one of those things that confounds me because, like, when people are, such ravenous liars about the little stuff,
Hmm.
then what does it mean about the truly important stuff?
Well,
now,
yes.
I want to leave all that stuff
That's the
out
thing.
because, look, everybody has their political points of view, and some people are going to love him till the end of time. But no matter what you think of him and his policies and his time as president and his time as a candidate and his time as now possibly being the first imprisoned Republican nominee for the thing, it's just that how could anybody in their
Whitey
right
Bulger
mind?
ran his organization from prison.
Yeah, but how
Why
can
can't a guy run the
how
country?
can anybody in their right mind think that this guy is anywhere close to 215 pounds? And like you said, there was a betting line out there that people.
It started, I didn't realize this, at 245. The professor was telling me. I thought it. Jim Sarney, our good friend Jim Sarney, proposed a wager with me privately for a tuna sandwich, believe it or not, at 278 and a hook.
Okay, so that
And
was
I
the
thought,
maximum.
you know what?
end.
This is the kind of guy that looks like he's an easy 3 bills,
Yeah,
but somehow slips in there at 267.
I guess.
So I was going to take the under
There's
based
no
on the fact
chance.
that there's no musculature whatsoever. It's
No
not like
chance.
you're looking at Jose Canseco.
None.
I think he's over 280.
All right, so I went with the under, and but it's a no bet now. I mean, because
there's no
became
official
unofficial.
number.
Yeah,
I think he's one of those guys that, like you said, he might be a little bit more athletic. Not athletic is the wrong word, but he might weigh less than we think. But even
does not.
whatever we think at the lowest level, that number's got to be
No,
265
look,
to 270.
You see some fat guys who carry it 100% in their gut, and they have
Yeah.
a little bitty bird chest
Yeah.
and no thighs,
Yeah.
and they're like actually weirdly light. But we've seen Trump in the golf clothes.
He has a
He's
big
got
rear.
a big old butt.
Yeah, he's a big rear.
I
That's
try
where
not
it
to look
goes,
at that.
I mean,
That'll
he
put
wears
me
the
off my
high
lunch.
pants too.
yeah, he
Yeah,
wears
he's
the
got
high
high
pants.
pants.
He honestly,
He looks like Pee Wee Herman.
he's,
only,
he is
yeah.
he is one Whopper meal away, one way or the other for
Yeah.
300. It might be 295. It might be 305, depending on like what time of day
Yeah,
you caught
water
him
and
at.
all that.
He's closer to rolling a 7 than he is to 215. Let's put it that way.
Well, let's put it this way: who do you think he's closer to in weight, Chris Christie or Nikki Haley?
I'll take Chris
Oh,
Christie.
definitely
Oh, easy,
yeah.
Christie.
He's not that
I think
far
he
from
weighs
Chris.
more
Oh,
than Christie.
Christie's short, right?
Yeah.
Christie's
Yes.
like super short.
Yep.
Yeah. So
So what's Christie, like 275 maybe?
I think
I
at
mean,
one
he's
point
super
he was
fat,
over
but-
300, but I think he did have some procedures done.
Okay.
You know what's going to be interesting, and I'm sorry if we're boring you with this talk. It's just always fascinating to me.
It's
you know,
also, fat guys can.
We
I
could
think
talk
we have
about
a
this all day. It's
pretty
very
decent
food related.
perspective
Yes.
on this.
How many of you out there in Let's Eat South Florida Land are lying about your weight? Not
Andy
just
said
to
it.
other people, but to
you
yourself.
just lie to yourself.
Well, okay,
That's-
let's look at this from the gambling perspective, though. We all know that opening line at 245 had to have a circle. I mean, $100, $500,
Yeah.
whatever it was. It was definitely circled. But if we were getting an honest count at 245, that's go take a mortgage and make your money.
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Like 245.
It's like having
that-
inside information.
yeah, I mean that was like
There's no way.
the
people
only
are
time in
betting
my
that,
life
yeah.
where I've seriously considered like liquidating the stock portfolio was McGregor and
And
Mayweather.
Mayweather. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so why wouldn't I just literally take everything out of the market and make 20% in a night? Because Mayweather was like minus 490, minus 510, somewhere in there. And then I was like, well, is it beyond Mayweather to throw the fight to get a huge money fight the next fight?
Yep.
I was like, no, that actually sounds like something he'd do.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
not going to
you
do it.
stayed away. Yeah.
And then like,
Plus, he was training on Taco Bell.
Yeah. he
well,
had put on a
and then
ton of
like
weight.
45 seconds into the fight, I
Right.
realized, oh, I made a huge mistake. I could be up 20%.
Yeah. Cheers, gentlemen. Happy Friday. We're
Let's do
having
it.
our
What's up
first
with Lubie?
round
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
drinks. Lubie
We
is
have some
going
work later
sober
on.
for the weekend.
We just have some work later on.
Very,
so.
very surprising development.
Not you work.
So one last thing
his
on the
housework.
whole, Trump weigh-in. One day it will become declassified information. There will be a way to find out what he weighed, and
I
you
don't
know
think
what
so.
that is.
That's going to be a lie.
Remember?
Wait,
no,
what
no.
are you saying?
There is one time where it cannot be a lie. When he was hospitalized at Walter Reed during his COVID bout.
Wasn't Dr. Ronnie still his doctor? Because Dr.
No, but
Ronnie's
they
totally
would not
lied
fudge
for
that
him.
because they would have to know his weight, and it would have to be accurate, and they do it on that hospital bed when he was like
But that's
out
not
of it.
HIPAA
Where
stuff.
they just it's HIPAA, but at one point after he's gone and after 25 years, it will become declassified
Oh,
federal
good.
information. Kind of the way the whole Kennedy
years.
files.
Does the mugshot end up hanging in like the Rose Garden or wherever they all have the portraits of the presidents? And you got like Lincoln, and then you got FDR.
That was an angry picture, wasn't
you got
it?
John F. Kennedy.
That
and
was
you
not-
got
that
this
was not a
orange
happy guy.
faced Schmink, sitting there with this ugly face on. I mean,
That's-
it's just the look alone was enough to make you think that's my president.
Well, that is actually, I don't want to say anything, but that's the face that I usually have after I don't have a meal for
I was
about
gonna say
20
that's
to
angry.
24 hours.
I would
Towards
say
the end
20
of
to,
Yom Kippur,
20
that's
to
how
24
I look
minutes.
when I'm like waiting for the
would be more
bagels
like
to get sliced.
My whole family.
And I'm like, are you serious?
I got to go back to Mike's question, though, because I think it's actually the most valid one of all of this. Who are you fooling?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I get that there are people who have very polarized opinions on Donald Trump politically. I get that there are people who have very polarized opinions on Donald Trump personally. In your heart of hearts, is there anybody who really believes 215?
Nobody
pounds?
bought
And if
215,
so,
man.
How?
It's going to
Like,
be
how
part of
is
his
that
defense.
possible?
He's going to say in his mind, he really believed that he's 215. He really believed he won the election. And this is going to all
If
go,
that was,
Actually, what
uh,
Ken's been saying
it'll go
lately.
towards the mental incapacity defense.
If
Which,
that was kilograms or
Wh-
stones,
who's
so
the-
well, it would have played out. Yeah.
Stones.
who was the wide receiver on the Dolphins who got in trouble and his defense?
Tony Martin.
Yeah, and the defense
He's
was
stupid. He's just stupid.
my client.
My
is
client
so
is
stupid.
stupid, yeah.
yeah.
That,
So
that guy
stupid.
defended me in my
And
case.
it worked. Yeah, it
It
worked.
worked. He used the same defense. It's known as the Queen's Indian defense.
It worked for both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I
Yeah.
saw a commercial that reminds me the other day of the Reputation Defender where they could wipe things off the first page of Google. I don't know. Have you ever tried one of those?
No, I
My
don't
wife
care
does that
about
for a
that,
living.
yeah.
Oh, you own
She
it.
cleans
You
up
just-
reputations.
I don't care what people say. I mean, look, there's always going to be something up there that you would prefer not to see ever again in your lifetime. So just live with it. Just like the number on the weight. I mean, if you're honest with yourself, I mean, all these people
Exactly.
that say, well, like you with your phony diets that last like 2 weeks at a time.
Keto.
You know,
I
I'm
actually
on a
lost.
ke-
Like
I mean, how many
11
people did you
pounds.
bore to tears with that keto diet? And where are you with
Then
it
one
today?
slice of pizza and it all comes
Boom.
back. It's
Gone.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Anyway, way to bring it back
talking
to
about
me.
eating habits.
Let's talk about yesterday's lobster and what you call a transgression, a faux pas. I eat lobster with my fingers. My people in my orbit, and
I don't
maybe-
care if you eat it on your plate with your
I
hands
pick it up.
that could have been anywhere. My wife, the Mustang, keeps saying, "Who knows where Mayo's hands
Just
were
stop.
before he did this?"
I
I talked
agree.
to a certain person today out in California. Hello, Valerie, who says
San Diego, by the way. I know more about your girl than you do. Yeah.
absolutely lobster is meant to be eaten with your hands and
Lobster.
fingers.
Have you ever heard the term lobster is finger food?
Yes.
Thank
Lobster.
you.
Lobster
Restaurants
fingers is a thing.
lobster fingers.
No,
When you
it is.
split it
Like when
open-
you split it open, you get the juice all over your
Yeah.
fingers. You got to have a little itty bitty thing.
Now,
Lobster fingers.
Most
no,
people have their
grabbing
own
lobster,
their
dunking
own,
in the butter with your fingers, and then eating it with your fingers.
Wait. But most people have their little individualized ramekins
I'm
of
asking.
drawn butter, and you just make it a little personal
That
affair.
had nothing to do with the
But-
issue.
but
of
the
you
issue-
sticking your hand in a community bowl.
Okay, so it's a community clarified butter bowl. Yes,
It was.
I
Could
stipulate
you
to
not
that.
have poured a little on your lobster pieces?
No,
as
because
were,
you don't want a lobster drizzle shower.
Could you
It
not
gets-
have taken a little on the side there? You had a plate.
You have a community bowl, okay? I grab my lobster tail with my finger. The end of the lobster tail has not been touched nor chewed on by me. I dunk that piece, not my whole fingers, the piece of the lobster
Does
tail
this sound
into
like
the bowl.
I didn't do anything wrong? This is a travesty and a witch
and then I
hunt?
pick it up, okay? And then I eat that
Disgusting.
lobster.
No, disgusting.
Then instead of double dipping the chip, I twist the lobster
Thank
tail around. Okay, yeah, maybe I touched that other end, but I then dunk. Okay, yeah, you win.
I'm
Because,
just asking.
yeah, I mean, you're putting the same piece back in there.
No,
after
not
you
with my
slobbered all over it.
It's like double dipping the chip. Hey, how are you this week? Thank you very much. Looks
So
beautiful.
so I'm
Meanwhile,
just-
as they plop a French dip in front of us,
Exactly.
we're having this conversation.
So I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, sushi can be here.
He's going to end up drinking the juice.
I'm just
I might even
asking.
start by
Oh,
drinking
look at
the
you with your
juice.
sushi rolls.
There we go. All right. Well, I'm defending the use of fingers to eat lobster, and
It's
I
fine as long as
apologize.
you can find it to
Do you know
yourself.
what you did yesterday? I let it go because I don't get bothered by things. But at one point, you took a fork that you had been eating with, and you kind of put it on top of my plate, some sort of food on my plate. I don't know what you were guilty.
I was
oh,
picking something off your
you were
plate.
grabbing
Yeah.
the stuffing from
Yeah.
the stuffed Maine lobster.
But
that
with
they
you, it
brought out
doesn't
to us.
matter. I mean, because all rules are suspended with you.
Yeah,
Because you
Did I
have
say
been so
anything?
grotesque.
Did
No,
I
you
make
have
a
no
federal
right to say
case?
anything.
Did I call Jack Smith?
You have no right to say anything, Mr. Trump. You
what are we
really
talking
don't.
about?
I mean,
This is a
got
special-
fish in a
special-
bag.
Well, this is a
Wow, look at
special
you.
one.
You got. It's like a what is it? A snapper?
It's
Or
a flounder.
a
I
flounder
figured we'd get the
papillote?
special. Yeah,
Oh my
we'd get the
gosh, look at
special
this.
because we've been
Lubie
very
is moving.
Are we really
This
at a
is for
racetrack?
all of us. This isn't a me thing. This is.
Are we at a
No,
racetrack?
but you are now moved up to like almost number one on the food depth chart. Have you ever seen such a thing, Ken? That
Yes, I have.
well, I mean, that Lubie would order a fish in papillote.
Lubie has made so much progress food wise over the years.
Oh, no
you wouldn't
doubt,
believe
yeah,
it. Like you weren't around, Mike. You were not around for early Lubie.
When he was screaming to go to Del Taco.
Dissecting a hamburger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You weren't around for early Lubie when I was taking him to at the time, the best place in Pompano
He would have
Beach
loved
to get a.
Yeah, he would have loved them.
It was like Husk in a disaster. Three
You would've
things
loved that place.
changed every day. Fresh proteins every day. And what does Lubie say? I can't eat here. Take me to Wendy's.
Well, he has come a long way
He
then.
has come.
Oh, no.
That's
He has made so much progress.
Defo, on the other hand, is basically he's
We're proud
standing
of you,
still,
Lubie.
but he's
Thank you,
eating his salad, very healthy.
I think honestly for Lubie, speaking of disgusting moments that you should have done, the breakthrough moment was when he ate the raw duck and lived.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
got to
Yes,
take a
yes.
picture of
It
this.
was a raw
papillote.
duck
got all
and
the
bacon
pictures if you want.
appetizer, and he
Raw
didn't die.
duck?
I think that cleared something in his
That's a
head.
little bit. Raw duck is not on my menu.
It wasn't on
It
purpose.
wasn't
I love
intentional. It was supposed to be on the grill. It was in a grill
That was
basket.
at a time where he would never wait. Like, it didn't matter what
It
the
was
protocol
literally,
was. It was Mayo-esque. And, he started eating before anybody even got there.
Mark, it was literally in a grill basket with tinfoil on top, waiting to be ready. Him and this other guy
Some other guy was eating
just
it.
started
I'm like, okay.
deciding to eat it.
I'm like, if he's
And he came up to
eating
me, he's like, Ken, I love the way
It's a
you
little
cook, but
chewy.
this isn't your best effort.
like, it's a little chewy.
like-
He's like,
He
it's not
deemed it
cooked, you
trash.
idiot.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that we've all grown and evolved. And again, 10 Palms, you got to give him big credit. Joe Beja, hopefully we'll be seeing him later. He just dropped his daughter off the other day at FSU, your alma mater,
Yes,
up
sir.
in
Wow.
Tallahassee. It's a long schlep drive, but
Yeah.
he made it up and back.
Nice.
And I guess he's going to be coming
He's
on.
here. I saw him. He's here.
Oh, yeah. So he'll be on a little bit later. And we're here with Ken, with Lubie,
Yeah.
with Defo, with me. We've got French dip. We've got sushi rolls. We've got a very healthy grilled chicken house salad with the hearts of palm that they have here at 10 Palms. And we have flounder and papillote.
Wow.
I have never thought I would see the day when I would actually
You're jealous of what
be
Lubie ordered.
able to.
This was
For people who don't know what empapillote is, it's basically where it's a French technique where you steam a fish, and it's basically wrapped in this parchment. And then when you break it open, it's wonderful, fresh aromas come cascading up with the steam. And it's on a bed of rice with some grilled vegetables, some very nice, looks like some lemon slices draped over the top of the flounder.
And it smells
Flounder
incredible.
is a very New England-esque Friday food.
Yes,
which I don't know
Flounder.
if
Flounder's
Ken
New
can
York
eat it.
too, big time. in
this
New York.
was
So we have
for
some sage on the top of there. I love sage.
It looks like a little bit of like the herbs de Provence, almost like a
Yes.
mix.
Yeah, yeah.
Could very well be. Yeah.
Persillade, they call it. I can't believe I'm using all these
Yeah,
fancy.
You know what? You went
French
from being a
food
total
terms.
degenerate loser to like a beautifully, eloquently descriptive food critic type
This
talking
is-
about Lubie's dish here. But
I really
believe you feel like you ordered wrong now.
it's not my dish.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to
So
say
Ken
order
and
wrong.
I-
Not when I'm going to stick my uneaten fork into his beautiful pepper. Look at this, like
Ken
nice
and I
little four
ordered
squares,
sushi.
and I'm going to have one of these.
Yeah, it's perfectly cut.
Oh,
Looks nice.
perfectly cut.
Ken and I
Yeah.
ordered
I
sushi, okay?
can't not
And
have this.
we
This
asked
is fantastic.
ever
I
since
make a mess out of it, but look at that.
ever
Oh,
since Perk was with us and he opened our eyes to, we never thought about getting fish or
Oh, the
just
fish
we
of the
just didn't
day.
know.
yeah.
Perk actually of all people ordered it, and ever since then, whenever they have a fish, that's not salmon because I'm not Mr. Salmon, but
I'm with you.
whenever they have a fish, and I don't mind salmon, but I don't need to come here to get salmon.
Overrated.
They have so many great things here. Whenever they have a fish on special, I'm like, let's order it so we all can try it because they do a really good job with fish. And he had and he actually, the server sung its praises. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we have to at least get that for the table, and everyone should try it
This
because
is good.
This
we
is
want to sell their specials.
fantastic. Let me describe it in a minute because it's basically because it's steamed. It's like a gentle poaching of the fish.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And this is a very mild white fish, the flounder.
I've never seen you
The
this excited.
texture
Yeah.
melt in your mouth. Again, they have kind of like a butter lemony type of glaze on top. Inside, it's stuffed with some spinach
Nice. I
on
love
top of a bed of
All right.
rice and some grilled vegetables and onions. Absolutely marvelous. You win the order of the day, Louie. I'm very impressed. And
I'm just impressed with the 10 palms, and it's why we probably need to go to a break so we would start doing our
a contest.
contest. It's why we're so proud to be giving away 2 vouchers every single week to the brunch, just Sundays,
Dill.
the brunch, because of things like this. They just have great different dishes on the menu for both breakfast and lunch items, and we
Joe
everyone so
B.
far has loved it. So we can't
Joe
wait for
B
more
and
people to
his
come out.
crew are getting it done here at Gulfstream. I detect also dill. A lot of people, dill is one of those polarizing herbs. For some
Dill.
reason, it's
All
kind of sometimes like cilantro that some people just hate it. What do you think of dill? Because I think it goes perfectly
you
with
know.
this fish.
I like dill.
Like, take it or leave it.
Ken?
I like dill.
I like dill.
think
It's great in chicken soup.
I'm
Like
gonna make a
it's
big
a nice
deal.
Obviously, the
chicken soup.
pickles.
No, I mean, with certain dishes, especially when you have this kind of French different herbs, and dill fits perfectly in this mix. Great dish.
Wow.
Isn't
That's
it nice?
And I'm not a huge flounder guy. I'm more of a South Florida fish, but that is really excellent.
I'm
Isn't it
more,
nice?
of a, I'm more of a Blutarski guy myself. But
Flounder's good.
Animal
I mean,
House, Joe.
you know, big time up in the Northeast.
can you believe Animal House
Yeah.
is almost like 50 years old? That the original movie.
7 years of college
I
down the
believe
drain.
it's
Very relatable.
I find it hard to believe it's only 50.
All right,
years
so
old.
last week it was the Peking Duck House was the answer.
Wait. We're not going to get into that yet. We're going to take our first break.
Well,
We're gonna,
you were going
You
to
don't wanna give
introduce
any
the
hints?
contest, Mayo.
No, we're gonna
How
do
many
it after
times
the
have you
break.
done the show?
Okay.
yeah, but we're going to do it after the break.
All right.
This is time for our first break. And we're going to talk first about Tropical Acres Steakhouse
Good
and
idea.
Butcher Shop. It's a great place to go for this weekend or any weekend, except on Sundays because they are closed on Sundays. They're open Monday through Saturday, and it's, again, one of these iconic Fort Lauderdale places that is 2500 Griffin Road. It's been there since 1949, been run by the Studiali family since the early 60s, and now Jack and his sons, Joe and Jackson, they will take great care of you. Go in there for happy hour at the bar 4 to 6:30 every weeknight, including Fridays, and you can get great drinks half price, anything in the joint, including top shelf liquor like my Belvedere for my martinis. And then they have light bites, great sirloin sliders that are for $6, all kinds of great, incredible values. And if you want it, you can just have a couple of drinks, happy hour, a couple of light bites, and you're done. But then you would be, basically cheating yourself
Yeah.
out of the whole Tropical area Acres experience. You want to go in there with a little bit of a group, date night, family night. Go in there, get the Twin Lobster Special, 2 of them from Maine for $39. unbelievable deal with a salad and a side dish. Of course, then you've got the standard signature classics like the prime rib, the filet mignon, the rack of lamb, whatever you want. They aim to please. The service, selection, quality, value. That is what they do at Tropical Acres. Don't forget your loyalty reward card. Every 12 entrees that you purchase, you get a 13th one on them. All of that makes it an incredible experience. Tropical Acres, tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Butcher Shop, don't ignore that for your
That's a great.
Labor Day barbecues. A lot of people are going to be getting together, the family, and then the summer, a little celebration. You want to get some great steaks and all kinds of terrific things to put on the grill. Tropical Acres has that for you, too. All right, back with more. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox from 10 Palms here at Gulfstream Park. Where did I hear a call to the post? I thought I had to get up. Back with more in a moment.
Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox. Aruba Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at 1 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. With a huge menu with something for everyone. Seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, deli specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day. Open 7 days until late. Parking available on site. Happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at arubabeachcafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo.
A Lunchbox, it's Friday. We're all in really happy, jovial moods. We've got racing all weekend coming up, big racing too. And it's time for our weekly 10 Palms at Gulfstream Sunday brunch contest.
Yes.
And we are enjoying, you should know that every day that there's live racing at Gulfstream Park, which this time of year is Friday, Saturday, Sunday during the Royal Palm meet. And of course, later in the year when we expand to the championship meet, there's more racing. But every live racing day, 10 Palms is open for your enjoyment. You just make a reservation anytime, and you get a wonderful view of the track. You can play the horses all day. They have tellers and roving ticket punchers, and makes it very convenient for the degenerates.
You don't even have to get up. That's
for the
yeah.
foodies out there.
Food's great.
The food is great. I mean, Joe Beja, who's the executive director of hospitality at Gulfstream Park, will be joining us in a minute.
He has stepped it up here.
The
at
food
10 Palms,
here
yeah.
is it's like something I would recommend. And
Yes.
people that win this contest who say, "Oh, I never knew this restaurant that 10 Palms existed. What a great alternative for Sunday brunch, something a little bit out of the ordinary. I never even, I don't usually come to the races. I don't know much about the horses. You don't have to." And they said, "Oh, I'm going to bring, my in-laws the next time they come to town." That's exactly what we want to do, is tell people that this is an option, and a really unique and interesting option for your Sunday
And
brunch.
can we have an honest moment here for a second?
You can, yes.
We have Defo and Mayo, and they're going to pretend they actually know something about horses. But in my personal experience, if you actually know nothing and you're just picking based on colors
The color,
of silks
the names.
or the
Far better
names,
off, yeah.
the chances of you winning are much greater.
Right.
What do you mean?
Enhanced
Much?
trade
A little
If you're
girl.
running a little
1, 3 out of
8-year-old who
4.
just picks based on the names of
She's
characters.
4, actually.
What do you mean? She went down to the track and pulled a Defo. She went down to the track and was like, "That one." And Ken's like, "No, but what about that one?" He kept trying to throw her off, and she's like, "No, I'm telling you, that one." And it won by like 5 lengths.
That was pretty cool. That was during our last Sunday brunch bash that we do from time to time. All right. It's time for this week's lunchbox contest. Maybe I'll clear the French dip from my mouth. But again, you know how it works. We're going
You
to
are
give
an odd combination eater, man. I mean, you go from a
Just
fish
remember,
to a French dip.
the most important thing is
To,
Mike
sushi.
Mayo Eats at
Yeah.
gmail.com by 12 o'clock tomorrow. And you will have to pick a horse. But again, if you know nothing
This
about
week-
horse racing,
2 horses. Okay.
I think the
Okay,
people
then you
understand
explain
rules
it.
better than
Okay.
we
Here we
do
go.
then
at
you
this
explain
point.
it.
Time
Yeah.
for the weekly brunch giveaway. Email the answer to this week's restaurant trivia questions along with your horse selections for this week's contest races. And there's a curveball, because the first tiebreaker this week, besides the usual Gulfstream contest race, which is going to be Saturday's 9th race at Gulfstream, and you're going to give me a number from 1 to 8 for the Gulfstream race. But this week, the first tiebreaker is giving us the winner of tomorrow's Travers Stakes. They call it the Midsummer Derby up at Saratoga Racecourse in beautiful Saratoga Springs, New York. And Travers Stakes, again, will be the first tiebreaker. You give me a number from 1 to 7 for the Travers. It's going to be the 12th race at Saratoga, airing on the Fox network, the big network. It will be showing the big Travers, and that's about 6:11 p.m. The Gulfstream contest race, the 9th race, is going to be going off at about 4:50 p.m. So again, Gulfstream winner 1 through 8, Saratoga Travers winner 1 through 7, and then the answer to this week's restaurant clues. And again, email it to mikemayoeats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow. If it comes in at 12:02, you are SOL,
Yeah, you're
buddy.
screwed.
You've got as much shot as Donald Trump tipping the scales at
Yeah,
215 pounds.
exactly.
I wish somebody had whipped out a scale right there at the airport. That should have been the first question. Never mind. How do you feel about the indictment, Mr. Trump? Just here, step on that.
You think
I was at a Don King weigh-in, though, where I had seen Julio Cesar Chavez weigh about 162 pounds in the gym the day before the fight. And then he checked in at 135. And I thought, and that was King, was right by the scale, man.
do you think
right by
Jack
the
Smith, in one of his, well, not that Trump is ever going to take the stand and be open to cross-examination, but like, can he bring in a scale like they brought the gloves for OJ, and bring in a scale and just say, Mr. Trump,
Yeah.
just step on this scale,
Stand
and
there.
we will deduct 5
Yeah.
pounds for clothing. Can you just step on the scale and then see what the number is and say, okay, So this does not comport with the truth at all. Maybe do you have credibility issues
there
about
you go.
everything else that you say?
Fake scale.
Did your mother want you to be
Scale.
a,
Exactly.
It was manipulated. It
Yeah.
was.
did
Yes.
your mother want you to be a lawyer? 'Cause you secretly have lawyer instincts. You really do.
She really wanted me to be a doctor. I hate blood and guts. A
Okay.
lawyer would have
Yeah.
been my preferred route, except I just had no discipline. So
All right. Well, we can see
eating
that. Yeah.
and
Because
raising-
what's the
Aware.
contest all about?
Oh,
Since you moved
you
out
were
of
the
this
one
4
who moved
times.
to the
I didn't do anything.
the weigh-in.
I'm just sitting
Wait,
here. Yeah.
Yeah, he always does. That's Defo's
we
job. Your
always
job is to
love
ignore
to
it.
stretch and just make the anticipation so that people can't take it. Okay. Again, the Gulfstream race, the 9th race, the Saratoga race is the 12th race, 1 to 7, 1 to 11. All right, enough of that.
Well, what is the clue?
What are the 3 clues?
My
Jeez.
God.
Did I
Professor,
tell you that the Gulfstream contest race is a mile on the main
who was
track?
that guy that was doing the show that followed us
51,000.
on 1470 that time? And the guy was out of his mind. We used to stick around and sometimes
Nat
just,
Traeger?
No.
that was it. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Why would
he
you
stretch
distract
out
him more?
things?
Can you
All right.
stop distracting him? What's the first clue?
All right, for this week's restaurant, we have a belated celebration of National Cuban Sandwich Day, which was actually
It
celebrated
was this
2
week,
days
right?
ago.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was on the 23rd.
This could get
It was
controversial.
Wednesday.
Corbin was making fun of Tampa.
As
Well,
he
That's
should.
my favorite.
Well, Tampa's
Don't
Cuban
like
see people
sandwiches.
trying to foist a fraud upon
One
America.
salami on it.
Everybody
There's no
has their own.
salami on a Cuban sandwich.
There's not. No
That
one
is
wants
a
salami on
lie. It is a fraud.
That's
Talk
so
about
weird.
people should be indicted.
Every region has its own distinctions.
Well, why?
No.
Why did they do that?
The
Why did they
Tampa
ruin it?
Cuban.
It's a
When I
Cuban
was up in
sandwich. It's a
They
Tampa
call it a
Cuban
recently,
Tampa
sandwich.
sandwich.
I did a little food historian work,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
where the whole Ybor City is and the
Yeah,
Columbia restaurant, Florida's oldest restaurant, where
Yeah.
I dined, where they have a great Cuban sandwich, Tampa style. So that neighborhood, Ybor City, also had a large influx of besides Cuban immigrants at the turn of the
Jamaicans.
20th century in the early 1900s.
How much of the city
They
is the
also
city of
had-
Tampa paying you for this?
They also
He's
Oh, he's easily
shameless.
sold. Yeah, he's
Shameless
easily bought.
also
also
Yeah.
had a large Italian immigrant population and a lot of Italian butcher shops
So they
and
threw salami.
Okay, so call
on
it
a
something
Cuban
else.
sandwich?
Maria's. So they threw on the Genoa salami to make some of the
To call it
Italian customers.
Cuban sandwich then.
Okay,
Call
You
it
because
can't
something else.
satisfy
Miami-
everybody. If you want a Cuban sandwich, you want a Cuban sandwich.
Honestly,
Exactly.
I'm not trying to
Why
participate
not
in
put
this
peanut
show.
butter on it for the kids?
Well,
I feel
there
like
is a
if Putin gives you a couple dollars, you're going to come on here next week and talk about how
There-
degenerate the Ukraine
there is a sandwich from Cuba called the Elena Rus that is a turkey with cream cheese and strawberry jam sandwich.
Yeah, I'm good.
So you talk about why don't you put peanut butter on a Cuban?
There you
They've
go.
already they
I mean,
have.
that's not that different than the
Who the hell
Thanksgiving
would eat
sandwich
that?
with
Yeah.
the cranberry
I know.
sauce, and it's
fine.
It's not
very
horrible.
similar
It
like
may not be
People
horrible.
doing any kind of variation, and so are you. I say it's fine to
But it
put
doesn't make it a Cuban. They
salami
call it
on
something
it.
else.
If you're in
Exactly.
Tampa. If you're in Miami and they do it, you're going to get thrown
no,
out.
you
the
don't
door.
get to call a sandwich that is not a sandwich
Yeah.
That name.
by the name. I don't get to put bacon on a Big Mac and say, "Oh, it's a
No.
Miami style
You
bacon
don't get to
Big Mac."
put bacon on a pastrami
It's the
sandwich
same thing
and
with him
call
and the
it a
cheese
kosher.
steak. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
sandwich.
saying.
At least you're consistently ridiculous with this kind of stuff. 'Cause,
Like you can't say it's a Tampa Cuban. No, it's a
I
Tampa
can't see the
sandwich.
chat line. Are people going crazy that I haven't given them
they,
I
they
just
don't
give
even
the
know.
freaking
I mean,
clues.
come on, they're used
I
to you by
bet
now.
if I just
There's
say
outrage
Cuban
about your
sandwich
Tampa
and
propaganda is real.
iconic Cuban restaurant on Calle Ocho, people will get it. I don't even have to say anything else. But here we go.
Okay.
Did you sell out to the Saudis or something?
I wish you don't see me wearing it
You
yet.
probably wouldn't be with us.
I'm
Sold
gonna
out
get
to the
those
city of
checks signed
Tampa.
later today, though, and next week's going to be party time. All right, all the repairs are done. I can swear to it. This iconic Cuban restaurant on Calle Ocho in Miami opened in 1971 and features some French architectural design elements, but it isn't a palace, and you won't be able to find any signs of Louis XIV.
I mean, everybody knows
Jesus,
this one.
really?
Yeah, wow.
Wow, even I got it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
horrible.
decided-
I
to
mean, you
start
can picture
early.
Balky's Nere starting every newscast from
Exactly.
outside this show.
Let's do
Exactly.
clue number 2,
Yeah.
folks.
Is that
Something
it?
is needed.
I should just make it. That's it. It's so
That really
obvious.
should
But
be it.
we've got to go to clue number 2.
That's fine. I'm
There's a
curious.
revolution in the streets.
It'll be harder. Like,
Let's
it'll
go
get
to-
more
Uh,
difficult.
I was going to make that the last clue, but I just said, no, I'll just start with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
This
just
is
give it away.
pretty
Go on.
obvious. The restaurant has become the unofficial gathering spot of the Cuban exile community
Yep.
when anything big Cuba-related happens.
Yep.
And through the years, it also has become a mandatory stop for campaigning politicians,
Yep.
and most recently, an indicted ex-president.
That kind of gives it away. I mean, they
they
also
have all given
they
away.
had a an undercard featured bout for the Arislandi Lara fights right there in the restaurant.
It's not subtle this week.
Yeah.
Not subtle at all. Some weeks, some weeks I
I
try
get
to be a
it.
little
No.
cute. Some weeks I'm just hitting them with a sledgehammer and say, let's get this over
All
with.
right, no, that's
yeah.
good. All right.
Do you have a
let's
third one?
just get it
Look,
over
we're
with.
not trying to have trick questions.
Let's
Yeah,
just
what's
get
your
it
third
over
one?
with, because I said my clue number 3 was, if you can't get it based off those 2 clues, forget it. You're a lost cause. And I was going to just drop the mic, but I'm going to say the restaurant features a lively ventanita, which is the sidewalk window where you could get your cafecitos and coladas and Cuban coffees, along with a full menu of Cuban and Spanish cuisine, including croquetas, paellas, and all kinds of sandwiches, including the cubano, the medianoche, which is, as you know, same as
Tampa Cubano.
Yeah.
Just a Cubano.
a cubano.
We're
Which,
not doing the Tampa
let's
one.
Just being
you
sure.
recite it. Tell me what's on a Cuban sandwich.
Not salami.
0.0.
Sliced ham.
Yeah, roasted
In
pork.
my world, when I first came here, sliced roast pork. None of this lechon asado.
Yeah, it's usually the asada.
A lot of times, I don't know when and why this happened.
Chef,
they
It's
turned
juicier.
it
It's
into,
juicier that way.
Yes, it's juicier. Also, to
Makes
me,
the
the
sandwich hard
whole
to eat.
essential integrity of a real Cubano sandwich is its flatness that you then
Yeah.
press it
Yes,
on the
yes.
grill. So you want sliced meats, nothing but sliced meats.
I won't
And then
fight
you
you there.
press it on the grill. You put that lard or butter on top of your, what do you call
The
the
press.
The
It's
press.
a sandwich
the
press.
Yeah, the sandwich press. Thank
Panini
you.
press, I guess they call it.
Yeah, well,
It
in
was
here,
the movie Chef.
don't they call it like
by the way,
a
so that became
plancha
a
or
thing.
something like that? But yeah, but I don't. Okay, so the chefs will say, "Oh, the lechon asada is juicier," but no, I don't want juicy. I want flat. Okay, this
It's
and
easier
this,
to eat. Yes, I get it. It doesn't fall apart as much.
and to me, they do it right at this restaurant
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because they do the classic sliced pork,
You have to have
sliced
pickles and you
ham,
have to have mustard.
Swiss cheese that
cheese.
gets
Yep.
melted with the press.
Yeah.
Only mustard, not
And
mayo.
yellow.
Some
You
of
actually
these
need yellow
restaurants-
mustard. I'm not gonna lie. Yellow mustard is the only
and
mustard
pickles,
that works.
The
Oh,
sweet
yes.
pickles.
Wait a second.
I don't like the sweet pickles. I want
Mayo
regular
is a
pickles.
problem, but salami isn't.
I respect regional variations.
But why
Salami
call it the
is an
same thing?
So why don't you
acceptable.
call it a Mayo Cuban? You should
Look,
be
kinda
flattered
what
by
it
that.
is.
I'm
yeah.
disgusted because at Publix, when they have the prepackaged Cuban sandwiches, and even at Las Vegas, which is a
Like a Cuban
relatively
restaurant.
good
Yeah.
Cuban restaurant, they have now started putting lechon asado and mayonnaise
I
on
don't
their
like the
Cuban
mayonnaise.
sandwiches.
You don't need
It's a
mayonnaise.
And that to
regional
me-
sandwich.
It's
Regional
Broward.
Regional
It's
to
Broward
Hollywood,
ruined it.
yeah.
I mean,
Broward ruined
There
it.
you go.
That's ridiculous. Okay, call me a purist. You can put a little salami on it, but if you put mayo,
See, I don't
Forget
want
about
either.
it.
I don't
All right.
want either on it. To be really
So-
honest.
all right.
Do you have a third one? Is there a third clue?
That was it.
Well,
yeah.
no, it also has, and again, I discussed the place
There
has
was a
the
guy with a
Cubano,
very,
the Medianoche, and
okay.
the Alana Rus
Nice.
sandwich.
The
Which
third clue is if
turkey.
you didn't get it from the first
First
one,
two.
how did you
You're
turn it
down
into the
idiot.
show? Like, how did you manage to turn a
Why would you
computer
be
on?
watching? Yeah, at this point, you're a loser if you don't have
Do I
this
need
one
to
by
even
now.
repeat the first two
No,
clues?
no.
Probably not. No.
Okay.
Just remember,
Short
Mayo
stop
eats
for
at
the twins,
gmail.com.
Zoilo, you have it there. Yeah.
So that answer, along with numbers 1 through 8 for the Gulfstream Race 9, numbers 1 through 7 for the Travers Stakes at wherever
race
that
12
is,
at Saratoga.
race 12 at Saratoga tomorrow. And then
And then the closest to the official weight of Donald Trump.
and then
No,
If
don't
if there are
throw
more
them
than
off.
one winner who gets all 3 components right, they will go into the hat on Monday
probably
for
won't
the
need the hat with all
tiebreaker. So there
They're
you
going to
have
the
it.
Hall of Fame.
And
What are
you
you
get
talking about?
2 vouchers for the Sunday brunch buffet at 10 Palms, a $50 value each. It comes with a mimosa, and our prize package includes tax and tip.
Yep, yep.
But you always are free to tip additionally and drink additionally
Yeah,
at your own
obviously.
extra cost.
Yeah.
We figured this out, Louis, from knowing this guy for a little while now.
Mhm.
Money is his drug.
Well,
Guy's got a little score coming in later on today. And,
Apparently from the
we have
Tampa
never,
Chamber
have you
of
ever
Commerce.
seen him so out of control? All right, we'll come back. More of this from
Ken
Gulfstream Park.
was gonna say
Wait, I
something.
gotta
Well,
do
no, I
another
have one
live
more
spot.
Ken was
I have
gonna
one
say
question before
something.
we go to the live
He did
spot.
like the hand gesture.
What is the more Tampa way to be? That they put salami on the sandwich,
Okay.
or that the best young athlete in town is a sex offender?
Oh, jeez.
Because they both seem like a very Tampa thing.
Hey,
we got
Joanne.
the professor.
Hey, Joanne.
All right, let's talk about
Sorry for letting
no,
him.
nothing now.
butt
Let's
in
just
there.
go to break and we'll come back with Joe Beja in a minute on the Lunchbox.
If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. This August, Visit Lauderdale invites everyone under the sun to indulge in the annual Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. This year's options will be more diverse than ever, with fine dining restaurants, casual eateries, and even your favorite cafes and ice cream parlors part of the mix. From August 1st through 31st, scores of restaurants will be offering multi-course meals at discounted prices starting at just $45 per person. Diners can also enjoy sweets and treats, brunches, happy hour specials, and exclusive culinary experiences. This year's lineup includes 3030 Ocean, Foxy Brown, and Lasso Gaucho in Fort Lauderdale, Even Keel Fish Shack and Aruba Beach Cafe in Lauderdale by the Sea, Cafe Max in Pompano, The Cook and the Cork in Coral Springs, Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, and more. Restaurants are being added by the day. For the full Dine Out Lauderdale lineup and all the details, go to dineoutlauderdale.com. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox.
We're back on the Lunchbox, and now we are up to the classy part of the show. We are joined, as usual, on a Friday at 10 Palms by the Executive Director of Hospitality at Gulfstream Park, Joe Beja. How are you this week, Joe?
Good. We are busy.
Looking dapper as
How
always.
sharp does this
Thank
guy
you.
look? Come on, Mayo.
Well, he's getting
I
ready
mean,
for the
let's
big,
not
big
just
day.
fluff over the obvious.
No,
here.
what do you call this?
Unbelievable.
Herringbone?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
that?
it's like a herringbone with a little
Herringbone
blue.
pattern.
Very
So I
nice.
He's got
navy,
his little
but still
handkerchief.
khakis. They're khakis.
Oh,
you
it's
know.
good. You
It's like
again,
a-
this
I thought
man,
sure Stronach was on the scene here.
he
today.
brings style
No.
to the
Yeah.
show because you
Really?
show up in your shorts. Me, I
Yeah.
show up in my whatever schluffy outfit I got on. But you,
No, I think I look like a navy blue Jake from Steak Farm, but that's okay.
Where do you stand on the question of the day? Over under 215, Donald Trump.
let's not.
Uh,
we don't have to drag him.
No,
into
just
that
a weight.
mess.
I mean, it's just a question of weight. He's in the food business. Should be able to make an estimate on a guy. If a guy needs a salad, you should
Right.
be able to tell right away. What do you think? 215.
Oh, I thought it was like 250. No, I'm
Okay,
kidding.
all
It's
right,
still
so
too-
you're over. You're
I know, I
well
saw
over.
that.
The weight that he was allowed to list himself and self-report was
You know, I think
215.
NFL memes on Instagram said it best. They go, if he's 6'3" and 215, then he should look like Lamar Jackson.
Who is the same?
Yes.
Who is the exact
Well,
same.
everybody knows muscle weighs a lot more than fat, so maybe. No, okay.
He
Come
was,
on.
All right,
was
let's
the only
get
president
into-
inviting everyone over for like Big Macs and fries. And so
If he's
forth. Anyway.
215, he could
Look.
afford to have an all-you-can-eat thing here at
I
Gulfstream.
I
coming up.
freely admit
Yeah.
I'm 5'7.5" and 240. So come on.
Yeah.
What does that make
Yeah.
him? All right. Before we get into the big event tomorrow, tacos and tequila, I'm just going to do a quick recap rundown of the clues. You'll get it in 2 seconds. I shouldn't even bother repeating it, but I just have to for this week's 10 Palms Sunday Brunch contest. Again, we're doing a double header of a contest race at Gulfstream. That will be the 9th race, numbers 1 through 8. And we're having the first tiebreaker is pick the winner of the Travers Stakes up at Saratoga. And Dave Joseph, Director of Communications, I saw him before the show today. He told me 5 of the 7 horses in tomorrow's Travers raced this year and started their seasons at Gulfstream Park's premier championship meet. This is the
Quite
home
a
of
distinction,
champions.
yeah.
And again, you got the Derby winner who came out of the race here, the Florida Derby runner-up, Mage. You've got the Florida Derby winner, Forte, who scratched out of the Derby and is roaring back. All kinds of good horses.
Yep.
It just shows you that Gulfstream Park, the place to be in the wintertime, the place to be tomorrow for tacos and tequila. But the contest, again, it's an iconic Cuban restaurant because this week, did you know it was Cuban Sandwich Day this past week?
No?
Ken is vehemently opposed to anybody putting salami on a Cuban sandwich and calling it a Cuban sandwich,
No.
which is what they do in Tampa.
Oh, my God.
That's
Oh.
a Tampa thing.
I had
And
no
it's
idea.
We
one
may as
more
well
reason
disconnect from the
to
Cuban
avoid
community.
Tampa at
Yeah,
all
yeah.
costs. Although I love Burns and I love the Columbia restaurant and I love Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
Don't know how we feel about salami on
No.
Cuban sandwiches. But
As
anyway,
an Italian, I'm a little offended about
Yeah.
it. No, I'm sorry.
and
No
I was
offense.
telling him that it
It's just-
came about because there was a big Italian immigrant
Yeah.
community at the same time in Ybor City, and they did it to kind of please the Italians that would come in and buy the Cuban
This
sandwiches.
is some build-up
Yeah.
to the clue.
Yeah.
Iconic Cuban restaurant on Calle Ocho that
Yeah.
opened in 1971 and features some French architectural design elements, but is not a palace, and you won't run into any sign of Louis XIV. All right, you know it,
Yeah, I know
right?
it is.
Everybody knows it,
The
right?
restaurant's become the unofficial gathering spot of the Cuban exile community when anything big Cuba-related happens. And through the years, it's also become a mandatory campaign stop for politicians and most recently, an indicted ex-president.
In fact, he still has a tab there.
Right. He said food for everybody.
He went right
Yeah.
out the door right
Yeah.
after that. Yeah.
And I said, if you can't get it based off of those first 2 clues, then just give up. But got the full range of the Cuban and Spanish cuisine, including Cuban sandwiches. So
Okay.
All
you
right,
know
he's
it,
got it.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do know that.
Okay, good. That
You
was
know,
a
it's-
slam dunk. Send the answers along with the 2 horse race picks to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow. If it's in at 12:01, you are out of luck because I am ruthless. I'm a tyrant. I will not blow up your plane, but I will blow up your contest entry.
Wow. Even a Russian reference, huh?
Oh, he's gone. He's out of it
Man.
today, Joe B. All right, how
He's
do
on
people
fire.
get into this
But-
thing
But
tomorrow?
you know, the funny thing I was
Yeah.
going to say with
Okay.
that we're doing about the Cuban and Cuba, I actually just came back from Tallahassee dropping off my daughter at Florida State.
Yeah.
And I actually managed to
nice.
have dinner at Gordo's.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of Gordo's.
I've not
Gordo's
been
is
to
the
Gordo's.
they became Instagrammable famous because of their pushing the envelope double entendre signs
Ah, okay.
that they would have outside the restaurant, which I won't repeat on family radio here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, podcast. So, but anyway, went there. Typical, been there at Florida State at least for 20, 30 years. It's been there.
It's been a long time. Huh?
Yeah.
I went back when I was in my news writing days and I'd cover the session and sports writing days, a place called the Silver Slipper, which was where all the business
Sounds
got
like
done.
a casino or a strip
Well,
club. What are you
it
talking
was,
about? Yeah.
It was run by a Greek owner, and it was a great steakhouse. They had a good wine list, but it was known for where deals got done when the lobbyists met up with the politicians.
Huh.
And it was all done because they had these booths where they had these like curtains, like on the Orient
Yeah.
Express, the
Yeah.
Agatha Christie curtains. They would draw them shut, so you didn't know who was in which
Oh, it's
at
funny.
which table doing what business, and then some of the lobbyists would just hop from
Yeah.
booth to booth and do whatever they did.
Yep.
Sometimes maybe paper bags were passed. I don't know. But the Silver Slipper, no more in Tallahassee. But good luck to your daughter there.
Thank you.
And again,
Following in the footsteps
Lubie.
of Mike Lubie Lubitz.
Lubie is an
Yeah.
alum, and just look how he turns
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So
He has a
Florida
master's
State.
degree.
You got
He's got about 150,000 worth of
Yeah.
FSU education in him right now.
Yeah.
Look where he is now. But I got to pay you a compliment before we get into tacos and tequilas. This, okay, your food, we've been eating it all year long. I can't believe we've been doing this like 39 weeks, and every week you keep astounding us with what you're able to come up with. This flounder and papillote, again, sophisticated French dish, the style. It is so good. Just kudos to you and your staff for keep bringing it. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll definitely pass some compliments to the chefs. They take great pride in being creative. We do, we have a lot of comfort food, very straightforward. We're at a racetrack, so we want to make sure people eat and enjoy themselves that they're here. But this allows the culinary team to get a little creative, a little more high end, a lot of where their backgrounds have come before they came to work here. So, it's nice to blow some people away and surprise them
all
what you
of
can
the
get
elements perfect. I mean, the texture and the flavors. You got all the herbs. You got some dill in there. You've got some spinach. You got looks like the herbs de Provence, or it's just it's a wonderful dish. So thank you for continuing to innovate and elevate the offerings here. And again, our contest winners, they always come home happy, even if they may be a little lighter in the pockets if they didn't cash a ticket. They are always astounded with saying, I didn't know this was here, this existed. I'm going to come back when I have visitors in town. And that's what we like to hear, because it is a unique place for the weekend brunch, the Sunday brunch. So, all right, let's talk about tomorrow. What's happening?
Ooh, tacos and tequila. We are actually sold out online. We do allow walk-ins for a certain amount, first come, first serve. So doors are opening at 12 noon for VIP. We have about 130 people arriving for VIP, and then at 1 o'clock we open up for GA, and we have another
hugely popular,
another 220 coming for GA. So we're at 350 right now.
All right,
which
and
we
there
stop
is that
online.
distinction you clarified for us. It's not Gamblers Anonymous. It's general admission.
General admission.
It is general
150
admission.
coming, yeah.
So we do seating for about 225, 250. So there is going to be a few standing room only.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
But we'll take a few walk-ins, and then we usually like to cap it around 375 or so.
So
Just that's way just plenty of space and. Sure.
And if they want to pay their way,
they can pay at the door,
cards or
correct,
cash or whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
I recommend the earlier the better. 1 o'clock, you get some table, and
I tell you what, if you say the secret word lunchbox, maybe they'll take it easy on you and let you slide in. But get there early, make it easy on yourself. And with regrets, I cannot make it tomorrow. Probably, I mean, I really wanted to check out some of the offerings that you sent me. The menu looked great. I do have some family business to attend to, but I will be there at the end of September. The next event is the
Bourbon and Barbecue
on
Saturday, September 23rd. I'll have by next Friday a list at least of some of the bourbons that'll be there, and we'll see about the menu. We always do ribs and pulled pork and a few other items and stuff, all barbecue centric.
Yeah, and that's another usually popular event. You could get your tickets in advance for that by going to
the Gulfstream website, www.gulfstreampark.com, and click on the link for events and purchase your tickets.
That's it. It's going to be a great time tomorrow, and again next month. Tomorrow also, again, big racing day here as well as around the country. Saratoga has a huge card, including the Travers, along with a bunch of other stakes races. So come on out for your tequilas and tacos. Do you still get a little voucher at the beginning? Do they give a
Correct. $2 betting voucher and a program.
That's it.
How do
That's
you
all
beat
you
that?
need. That and a dream, and you just hit the early double.
I told you,
and
my
just
grandson hit his first bet with a $2 voucher from might have been the bourbon and barbecue event.
While he was drinking the bourbon?
You know what? He wasn't old enough to know what he would have been drinking. He was still under 1 year old, but
he knows. Wasn't he calling Pappy Van Winkle? No, I'm kidding.
no, that was my last girlfriend.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Good one. Well, I will definitely
Joe, a
be
pleasure, man. Always
at the
great.
barbecue and bourbon, because I love my brown liquors and I love my charred meats. So that's September 20. What was it again?
23rd.
23rd. I will be there. Mark me down as a definite. Joe, a pleasure as always. Great job.
Always a great time, Joe.
We're going to get out of here, but I first got to do a couple of, sponsor notes. The pizza spot, you better get in there for your pies in the next couple of days, because Wade and Reese are taking their, quarterly break. They will be closed starting Monday for about 8 days through the Labor Day holiday. And they'll reopen, I think, that Wednesday, September 5th. So go on in and get yourself a pizza spot there in that Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale. Very easy to find with GPS.
It is, actually,
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. We were there yesterday. Unbelievable
great
spread of that Florida lobster. This was surprising, Joe. We did I kind of did a blind taste test of Florida lobster tail that is now in season, and they had it fresh from the water, and they lightly steamed it with some drawn butter. But I had it without the butter and compared it with a Maine lobster. Guess which one was sweeter? And I found the texture is very similar. And Defo agreed.
I didn't
Tell me the
totally
Florida,
agree.
huh?
No.
Florida lobster actually
Wow.
prevailed yesterday.
I said the Florida lobster kind of surprised me because I hadn't had it steamed before. So
Yeah.
it was a little more tender than I'm used to when they grill it or whatever.
Some
Then
people grill the
variety of
heck
ways
out
of
of
making
it.
it. But
Yeah.
I still take the Maine lobster over the Florida
All
lobster.
right.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was very sweet. I thought flavor-wise, the Florida lobster got the edge yesterday, so that was nice. Again, you could go in there for this weekend, or especially coming up with Labor Day weekend. Go in there, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, right across from the old Classic Seminole. Get your steaks, poultry, seafood, fish, whatever you need. DelawareChicken.com is the website to get the daily specials, daily offerings, and weekly specials. All right. And don't forget, Dine Out Lauderdale. It's going on until the end of the month. DineOutLauderdale.com or visit lauderdale.com/dineout. Getting a lot of business in at the end, but,
Yep.
we like to take care of business, Joe, right? So that's going to do it for the weekend.
Pleasure, yeah.
Defo, thank you. Lubie, thanks for all your contributions this week.
Professor, yeah.
Ken, the professor, he is learning the ropes because he's going to be
He knows
the
his stuff.
substitute
Yeah.
teacher when Lubie goes on his big Moroccan adventure. He's going to be coming back with a fez
Could be Lou Gehrig time.
and maybe a little
Yeah.
hookah.
Nice. See
but
you later,
that's-
Wally.
Hey, Wally, here's your stuff.
All right. Thanks to everybody out there. Remember, have a great weekend and enjoy every sandwich.